All right, hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Comic Book Radio. This is Hosting the Hosts episode 4. I am your host, Peter Cimetti, and I am hosting tonight Shae and Shae of Red Valkyrie. So you guys in the chat are in for a good show. All right, so Blue Teddy Narrations, what's up? How's it going? Says good evening, everyone. We got Red Valkyrie in the chat too. Hey, look at that. Logan Effling, hey, how are you, buddy? We got Wayne here as well. Yeah, a cup of coffee in the big time. I wish I had a cup of coffee right now. Oh, man, I'm tired today. It's a good thing I've got who I've got on. It could carry me. Randy Scribner, what's up, Randy? Hope you're doing well. Eric the Guapo says, these two are trouble. I don't know. They're great. They're great. Yeah, a little bit of trouble, maybe. Who knows? But only of the good kind. Just like me. Grey Wolf, what's up? WD Smith, hope you're doing well. And we've got, that's it for now. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, Grey Wolf. I could use some coffee. I think I only had 1 cup today. Usually I have 2 or 3. Maybe. Yeah? Yeah, 2 or 3. That sounds right. Anyway, like I said, I could use 1. Without further ado, again, hosting the hosts. This whole show is about getting people on here to converse with them because they have a show, a channel, a social media, whatever they do, where a lot of it, not all of it maybe, but a lot of it, they spend it helping other creators out, promoting them and whatnot. Now, I've noticed a pattern because I used to be in this exact same situation, and hell, I'm kind of getting into it now. When you start having a lot of people on your channel, you don't really have much time to go to other channels. So this is me kind of pulling them away from their own channel to just spend an hour or so with us. So without further ado, for the second time, there's a little bit ado the first time. We got Shae and Shae. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hi.
And I'm Eric. I have to apologize. I see Eric in the chat said I will be extremely disappointed if I didn't cosplay you, Pete. And damn it, I didn't even think of it.
Oh, that would have been great.
Until he said it. Like shit.
Wait, where's your hat?
It. I think it's in the bedroom. That's the problem.
I guess you like sorta kinda are, you know, you got the King Cryptid shirt on, so
I am representing, and I do have King Cryptid in the background.
There you go.
Eric's disappointed.
Yeah.
Eric's always disappointed with me, let's be real.
That's true.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here with me tonight. Do I have about an hour or so with you guys?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right,
Who
so
needs sleep? It's fine.
that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
It's 9 o'clock. What are you, old?
No, I'm somebody that has a job that makes them get up early.
That's
So-
your own fault.
I don't know if you guys have seen the format of this show, but the way it is, the first half hour, I talk to you guys, get to know you guys a little bit for the sake of the chat. It's going to come across like in some
Like
questions that I'm asking,
us.
like I don't know you. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds great.
Yeah. And then the second half of the show, we take a little bit of a break for a minute or so, and then I show trailers and whatnot, and then we put a link into the chat, and we invite them to join us if they have a question. One at a time, they can have a question or comment for you, and that's that. Yeah. Those in the those in the chat, please limit your questions for me. Don't. There's no point asking me questions. Ask the questions to our guests.
Wait, can we ask you questions?
Well, if no one shows up, yes, absolutely. So that's how we do things here at Hosting the Hosts.
Nice.
So again, you guys, you run a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and I've been on it, and I've been so fortunate to be on it. It's always a great time. But what was the inspiration? Why a YouTube channel? Why wanted to get into this crazy life?
Sai, I'm gonna let you take this one because this is your fault.
Okay, so let me see. When was that? 2019.
Yep.
2019. So a bunch of people had YouTube channels. Art City, Sim, just a shit ton of people had all these little channels. And I'm like, why them and not me? And so it got kind of working in my brain. And then I met Shae on one of those little channels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, she's hot. But second of all, like, she's really funny and interesting. I need to do a show with her. We need to be friends. And so I harassed her.
Literally.
Nonstop. From August.
I would say you harassed me for about 3 months.
Yeah, from August, July, August to October, and then we had our first show.
So basically, when we first kind of were looking at all of the other formats, people were having like 5, 6, 7 different creators on, and people were getting between 2 and 5 minutes to try and be like, sell us on your book, your entire campaign, and everything that you're creating. And I always found myself like never really knowing anything about what anybody was doing. And Shae agreed. And so we decided we were going to try a new format. And our format was going to be, we would only ever have one campaign on at a time. So we've even had people that have had multiple campaigns open at the same time. And they're like, oh, we can just talk about all of them. And I've literally been like, you get one, pick one.
Oh, like have a show with multiple guests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like even like I've had like one guest who had 3 campaigns that were open and running simultaneously. Yeah, exactly, Luke. By the way, Luke's like our brother. Love him to death. But we had one guy who had like 3 campaigns going at the same time, and he was like, well, we can just talk about all 3 of them in one show. And I was like, you get to pick one, and then if we can work out scheduling, we'll schedule you on for the other 2 later. But we're only covering one campaign at a time because our whole thing was deep diving into them, asking in-depth questions, and me cosplaying because it seemed like fun.
Yeah. And I was going to get to that later, but let's get to that now. So,
Okay.
You have a unique feature on your show where you will cosplay as one of the characters from someone's book.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, you've done insane cosplays. When I was on and you were King Cryptid.
That guy back there, that mask too. The worst part is, so for people who don't know, and like this is kind of a new thing, I'm pretty sure that I have ADHD, and so I'm really good at doing things at the very last minute.
Okay.
So like for the King Cryptid mask, I did not spend the amount of time that I should have spent to create that thing, which is what resulted in me not wearing it the whole time, because I had just glued in the yellow eyes with super glue, and the fumes were so strong that I couldn't keep the mask on because it was literally hitting my eyes and my sinuses, and I was like, I'm gonna pass out if I keep this on. Not because I can't breathe through the mask, but because I can't breathe through the fumes. So I have a tendency to give myself between 2 and 4 hours for most of these cosplays, which is not enough time.
But between the makeup and the whole get up and the masks and everything else that you do with these characters, it's crazy. I haven't seen anybody else do anything like that. At least I've never been on someone else's show where they dressed up as one of my characters. So
nobody else is this crazy.
Yeah.
It really is. It absolutely is. You said it, so I'll say it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, how did that come about? Do you always do cosplay or anything like that?
So, I love cosplay, and previously I had never had like the, I guess, confidence to just do it. And so when we first started the show, it was closet play. It was whatever I had in my wardrobe that I could make vaguely look like a character. And then after seeing like doing really basic characters where like I just wear a specific colored top and like pull my hair back in a certain way, and watching creators go completely bananas over it, I got excited and I started building things because I've always been crafty. So I started building like small things that got more and more elaborate until eventually like I'm paper macheing a diving helmet to have Clint Stoker on for Downcast, and like getting a Groot mask that I like horrendously change and add on to and glue fake fur on. I have so much purple fur left over from this, by the way, Pete. I have an entire drawer filled with purple
She'll send
fur.
you some.
Blame me for that, sure. Okay.
I do blame you. It's okay.
right.
But it's like I started getting more and more elaborate, and the more elaborate I got, it became a challenge. And so I like doing cosplay. Most of these cosplays have only been from the waist up because there was no point in spending the money to do more. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm doing full cosplays, and I have people that are wanting me to do covers for their books, which is amazing and like my dream. And so I'm working on full cosplays, and I've met up with a professional photographer, and like right now none of this makes me any money. Like it definitely is a money sink, but the idea is hopefully I can get enough that I can release patterns for certain things that I build, or cosplay books and calendars are definitely in the future. And it's become a really fun challenge that I curse every Saturday that we do this, clear up until we start the show, and then I'm all smiles like, oh no, this is exactly how I wanted it to look.
Did you ever think of opening up like a prop shop in a way of you would have these costumes and whatever you could sell afterwards you would sell as like these kind of game used jersey sort of memorabilia?
So to be real, you have to be careful because she's a girl, and so there's a creep factor.
There is.
Yeah, but you just charge, like an extra 20% if you're a creep.
So we've talked about it a few different times, and I've actually gone, like, we do art auctions and stuff, and like I've tried auctioning off some of the masks and things. I took King Cryptid to one of them, and everyone was like, wow, that's super cool. And then I like sat there and was like, there are no bids. Like this is not the place for this to
How much
sell.
did you try selling it for?
To be fair, the opening bid was 150 because there was a lot that went into that mask.
Yeah.
Not to mention the shipping that it would cost to send a lot of these things. If I get to a point where I stop having my executive dysfunction, where I wait until the last 2 hours to build stuff so I can actually build things that are quality and will last longer than the show, then yeah, sure. Like we can open them up. But most of the time I have stuff that works, and then the second the show's over, it's like half falling apart, and I'm like, all right, we're just throwing it away.
Yeah, it's like the Ninja Turtles from I forget which movie, but I think it's the third one because they're horrifying and they look like they're basically decaying during the course of the film.
Yeah.
So it could end up looking like that. All those old creepy puppets from movies back in the day that have just, for some reason, they're rotting away because of the sweat and the bacteria that's on them, eventually just eating the thing up alive.
So, like, funny story, the giant diving helmet that I made, I didn't have enough time to do enough layers of the paper mache. So I had, like, some layers, enough that it would hold its shape for the show, but then after I took it off and I set it off to the side, and it was massive. So it was just on my floor, and throughout the week it started to cave in on itself, sad like.
Wow.
And it just turned into a heap, and I was like, yeah, there wasn't enough layers of paper mache on that.
It was a sad balloon.
It was very depressing. I was like, well, I now have to, and like, I feel bad for my trash men. I want to know what they think, because every couple of weeks in my trash can, there's just like crazy shit. Like, here's half of a scuba diving mask, and
some
and
wild
a
times at this house.
arm.
That's what they're thinking. It's absolutely a don't ask, don't tell situation among the trash people.
We just don't, like, we've seen her. She's big.
All right, so there's no good segue for this, so I'm just gonna get into it. Now, when you have creators on the show and they're going about promoting and they're doing their thing, you guys have seen a lot of creators come on your show to promote various projects. I don't want to ask you to pick and choose favorites or talk about episodes you'd liked more than others or didn't like at all. What I want you to do is give some advice out there to those people that you've seen come on your show that might be thinking of coming on your show. What can you tell them in terms of what they should be ready for, their approach to it, what is basically the best presentation that they could give? What advice? Because you guys have seen a lot of people. So what advice can you guys give to those people out there that maybe aren't new to this? Well, let's say that they are completely new to this. They're completely new. They've never been on YouTube, and they're thinking of going on your show. What advice do you have for them?
First off, invest in a decent mic so we can actually hear you. It's you can get pretty decent ones for pretty cheap. Having the earbuds that sit right here and rub against your shirt the whole time is instantly going to make people turn away from the show and not want to listen. The other big thing is never, ever, 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 ever soft launch. The amount of people that do crowdfunding campaigns and do like quiet soft launches when they don't have a fan base built up yet. And then they spend the first 2 weeks struggling really hard because nobody even knows that their campaign's out. Like, it's such an oversaturated market.
I talked about that yesterday. Don't crowdfund until you crowd build.
Exactly. And if you don't promote you, like, you have to learn as an indie creator, you have to learn how to not only be good at, writing your story or doing your art or whatever your field is, like in that creative realm, you have to learn how to market. You just do. If you can't market, hire people who can, because the amount of people that come onto our show and can't give a pitch, don't have a clear view of what their campaign really is about, have a very messy campaign where they don't lay it out. Like, I should be able to look in the first paragraph and know how many pages, if this is going to be a series or a standalone, like how far along in the book you are as far as like completion goes, especially if you're a brand new creator, because you have to instill that trust right from the get-go, or I'm going to click off. And I've backed so many freaking campaigns. Like, it's
family friendly show. That's the one F word. We're now in PG-13 realm here.
Sorry, no more.
When I had Billy Tucci on, I think that went right out the window.
I'm so bad. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't warn you beforehand. That's all.
That's fair.
Okay.
Well, and see, you know us, Pete, so you should have warned us.
Yeah, I should have. But that's great advice. And Michael Bancroft had similar advice as well in terms of the microphone, camera, etc., the equipment setup. It's so important because if people can't hear you or they can't see you or whatever it may be, your lighting situation, whatever it might be with that as well, it's going to be really tough. Even if you're good at your pitches and conversing and whatever it may be, it's going to be a real frustrating situation, not just for you guys, but for the viewers out there. And then it also, there's a confidence factor, right? It looks like this person maybe is not so competent, so it's decreasing their confidence. Because if they go, well, geez, this person doesn't even know how to get a mic or a headset or something, or a camera that's functioning, how are they going to fulfill this campaign, that they're asking money for? And sometimes it's a lot. And sometimes, like you said, it's their first or their second or whatever. So that trust factor is important.
Well, and so like Dr. Mask says in the chat, he says, so no earbuds. No, absolutely use earbuds. Like, earbuds make it, and so we don't have to worry about echo cancellation.
She means the mic on the,
Get a standalone mic. You got really nice Yetis. There's really, really cheap options that still sound a million times better than the microphone that's on your headset. But finding something that isn't going to constantly get brushed by hair or by clothing, that can stand alone. And if you're someone who hits your desk a lot, get one of the mic stands that will help avoid taking that vibration into the microphone, because all of that stuff pulls people out of whatever you're saying.
And don't fiddle with it. Sorry, I know I fiddled with mine to show it, but don't mess with your mic. Sai gets mad at me all the time for that. Well, it's. I mean, you're literally like touching my brain. So,
it's okay.
Just to kind of add on to what Shae said, the other thing is bring your energy, because how do you expect me or our audience or your fans to be excited about a project when you're not? I mean, you are the salesperson. We're offering you a platform to showcase your stuff to our audience, but a lot of times they don't know you, or even if they do know you, if you don't bring the energy that day, what position does that leave Shae and I in? Because it's like, okay, well, you're excited about your project, but you're acting like a sourpuss. I'm really curtailing my speech. You're acting like a sourpuss on our show. So, I mean, do you now hate your project, or do you just hate us, or do you hate the chat? So,
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are your greatest salesperson, and for God's sake, know what you're trying to sell, and actually have locked in what you're going to sell. Don't come on our show and try to sell things you don't have. Which has happened.
It sounds like this has happened to you guys.
Yeah. It has. So I've actually had to stop. It was we had a brief moment in Red Valkyrie where Shae was away for, out of the country for about 8 months, and I was running the channel by myself, and I ended up having somebody who came on who had a tier that they were selling that had a specific artist doing a cover. And they were like, yeah, I'm really excited about that. I hope that I can get her. She said she'd do it before. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're selling something that you don't even actually have yet. And I was like, have you even commissioned her? And he goes, well, we had talked about it previously. And I was like, talking about it is not commissioning. Like, artists get busy, and artists get people who ask them, like, what are your commission prices? Would you be willing to do this? All the time. It doesn't mean that they get commissioned by those people. And so we ended up having that as one major issue, and there was a couple other huge red flags on that campaign. It is the only time I have ever stopped a Red Valkyrie Presents, like, mid-show, and been like, we're going to have a backstage conversation. I'm very sorry for everybody who's watching. Thank you for turning out, and everyone have a wonderful day. And we ended the stream, and I talked to the guy and was like, bro, I can't promote this. This is not how this works.
Because a lot of people don't realize when they're going on someone's show, maybe it's not necessarily an endorsement, but it is you saying to your audience, hey, check this thing out, and if you like it, if you like the guests, get the product, get the, throw some money at what they're doing. And I've never had that, thankfully.
Just like Silver said, that is something that damages our brand, because we're the ones that are saying these are, we have people that message us all the time to come on Red Valkyrie. We don't bring everybody on. There's people who have messaged us and been like, I really want to be on your show. And unfortunately, maybe the art style isn't quite up to snuff, or the story seems like it's all over the place, or the content. We've had people that have had content that I was like, they're absolutely not. I am not bringing this on the channel. Like, that is not gonna be associated with us in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
And
you're thinking really of the one I'm thinking of, the harpy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And people get really upset about that when we have to be like, hey, I'm really sorry, we can't bring you on. That's another big thing, is understanding rejection and understanding what it actually is in a professional sense. If I tell you that I can't bring you on for this project, that doesn't mean that everything that you do is going to be garbage. It means this project is not where it's at for us. And it could be something that other people absolutely love. It could be a really, really popular webcomic that you have a huge fan base for and everybody digs it. Great. If it's not up to our standards, I'm not going to bring it on, because every time we bring something on, that's us saying this exists and we think that it's worth your time to our audience to look at. If it's not worth my time,
it's kind of saying either Shae or I would buy this.
Yes.
And if neither Shae or I would buy this, then why have it on our show? We're supposed to be bringing stuff that we're excited to see, that we want to see. We'd be happy if everyone succeeded, but we're not going to buy every. Well, Shae's making a run at it, but we're not going to buy every single crowdfunding that's out there.
Now, something that I find that helps me make my decision as to whether or not I'd like to have somebody on my show, and you guys let me know if you feel the same way, it would be seeing them in action on either another show, or better yet, the best option yet, having their own channel and seeing them and how they talk on there. Does that influence you at all? Do you guys like to see that kind of a thing? Because I definitely do.
I'm going to be honest, I don't pay attention to that very much at all.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing for us, like, I I probably should more, because there's been plenty of times where we get people on who get total stage fright. And by the way, if you come on our channel and you're afraid of public speaking, pretend that you're just talking to us, because that's pretty much what the show's gonna be.
Yeah.
Or you're a brilliant artist and a brilliant writer, but you come across as a total introverted sociopath. And so
we've had a few of those too, and those are rough shows. But the thing is, we can get excited if we like your project or we like you as a creator. We can get excited enough to drag a show along. It's so much easier on us when we don't have to. The biggest thing that I look for is people that have enough confidence in themselves to even approach us about being on the channel. I stopped reaching out to most creators because we're booking 2+ months in advance. Right now, I am booked out to June, July. We're booking in
August around there.
I think we're in the last weekend of August. At this point,
August and into September. And I have people that like are regulars on our channel that have wonderful books that everything that these creators have produced we've really enjoyed. And so they can basically just hit us up, and I'm like, I don't even care what the campaign is, like you're coming on unless you randomly are gonna be like, just so you know I did this, and then I'll be like, bro, maybe not that one. But we have people that get with us and say, I know what I'm going to be launching for the rest of the year. Can I book shows out with you? And I have one creator who's booked out through 2023 on our channel, just because he knows I'm launching on this date and this date and this date. And I'm like, yep, then we'll get you this weekend, this weekend, and this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, Leak, July 4th of next year belongs to
July
you.
4th of next year is already leaks.
Wow, wonderful. Man, oh man, that's my 40th birthday.
Is
Oh!
Look at that.
Well, you'll have to come hang out with us.
it? We may have edited a book.
July 4th is the one day a year I take the whole day off, and I'm like, that's it. You guys enjoy whatever you're doing. I am dead to the world.
As you should. You are such a busy person too. Like I do this on top of my day job, and so I'm like, and college. I don't understand. Like I see people like you that are doing it like every single day. I'm just like, oh, like one day that will be me. But right now, there's not even a remote possibility for that. We're pretty much at our max for streaming as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because Presents is not the only show we have. That's Wednesday and occasion. I'm sorry, that's Saturday and occasionally Thursday.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheldon. I appreciate that. He's getting in there early, you know.
You just said happy 39th, and that's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's okay though. It's okay. Okay, so that's a good point. I wanted to lead into that next, and you guys are doing a great job of predicting where I want to go. I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about what other shows you have on your channel. But before we do that, it's the half-hour mark. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more about what kind of shows are on the Red Valkyrie channel, and then I'm going to put the link up in the chat afterwards. But before we do that, take a quick minute or so away, show you guys some trailers. We'll be right back. You're watching Comic Book Radio, Hosting the Hosts, episode 4 with Shae and Shae of Red Valkyrie. I'm your host, Peter Simeti. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Yeah, Blood Realm's a great one. He's got a campaign right now for merchandise on Blood Realm too.
And he didn't message me. Does he not know I'm the merch queen? I'm gonna have words with him. It's fine. It's fine.
Rob Geronimo.
I'm gonna go be in his DMs, be like, bro, you know better.
Got some cool shirts on there and everything too. All right, so we were before we had left off, we were talking about the kind of shows you have on your channel, other than just featuring creators and doing promotions. So what would those be?
So every Wednesday night we have Dice Dames and Dudes, which is our D&D-esque stream with Woodrow and Luke. And that is completely insane craziness of mostly us being murder hobos. and it's
That word was hobo, by the way.
hobos.
Murder hobos?
Yes. And
You
anyone
crazy
who plays
kids.
D&D understands that terminology very
Okay.
well.
Well, that explains it then.
Yeah. And then Friday nights, most Friday nights, we do Regeneration Cycle, which is just our chill stream. We have the first 30 minutes dedicated to our members, and then we open up to anyone who wants to join us on panel, and we talk about whatever, and usually have a couple of adult beverages, and maybe Shae is furiously working on whatever cosplay she has to do the next day. You never know. It's super, super great. And then we do quarterly auctions, which was a super fun thing that we started up. We had Jason from Unhinged, and yes, Luke, fun is the correct word. But we have Unhinged, and so Jason Bascom, who approached us and was like, you know, we have people that do auctions that are instantly out of everybody's price range. What if you guys put on an auction that was more accessible, and it could be, you don't have to be a former pro in order to get a spot on, and you don't have to have $1,000 to drop in hopes of maybe picking up something. And so we started our underground art auction. The next one is actually coming up July 8th. And we still have some spots open. So if there's any artists out there who still want to get on there, all you got to do is DM me and we'll have a conversation. But yeah, it's really fun. And we've had people who, you know, have had moderate success. We've had Rainey, who sold a cover for $4,000. So,
wow.
You know, we've
I hope they paid.
Yeah. Rainey.
That would always be my fear. I'm like, okay, this is going for pretty
So
high.
we have Sai as our rules lawyer. So Sai created our rules for our auction, and if people bid and win, they have 5 minutes to make the payment in PayPal, and they are not allowed to bid on anything again until the creator has verified that they've been paid. So
very good.
We've done pretty well with it. Joke bids will get you instantly banned from the channel for the day.
Gotta be serious about it.
If you're a repeat offender, it'll get you banned permanently. And if you are someone who comes on and you try to sell something and then you go back on it, you get a permanent channel ban from us, period.
Yep.
Because that goes directly against our morals and values as a brand, as a company, and against the rules that we set out for all of our artists, our people who are selling everything.
Yeah, firm but fair. I mean, you got to be serious with that stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of our thing, is like, we want to be able to do this kind of thing as a business. I'm 3 years away from retiring from the military, less than 3 at this point, and this is what I want to do when I'm done. I want to be able to do this kind of stuff and focus on marketing and my own art. Speaking of which, can I show you the surprise I have for you, Pete?
Sure. Yeah. Let's see
I'm so excited. So, little backstory before I show this. Sai and I were hanging out, and we went thrift store shopping to a bunch of random thrift stores that were kind of nearby us.
Rural
and
area.
I found something, and I decided it needed a little bit of an improvement, but I'm going to be sending this to you.
That's incredible.
I felt like you needed a gigantic sign for your back wall, but it needed to be King Cryptid and not just Sasquatch. So...
Oh my lord.
And I literally just finished painting this, like, right before the show.
That's incredible.
I do everything last minute.
The funniest part is something that's kind of similar to that is going to be not the sign, but it's going to be a sticker on the upcoming King Cryptid campaign. It's going to say Cryptid Crossing.
That is fantastic.
But man, oh man, that's incredible. Wow.
That's the reaction I was hoping for.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, very thoughtful. And Kier, check it out, man. Check it out. Kier is the artist of issue 4 and 9. And
Yay.
Man, oh man. Holy smokes.
So after this is done, you'll have to give me a mailing address so I can send this off to you.
Absolutely.
It might take me about a week to get, the proper packaging, and I've still got to clear coat it so it'll stay protected. But yeah, it's coming to you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, man. That's
Shae,
incredible.
did you do what we talked about with the paint?
Not yet, but there's going to be a little of this.
Oh, even better. That's cool. Wow.
I got it out. I didn't have a chance to paint it yet, but there's gonna be some glow bits because clearly, like, King Cryptid must glow.
Do me a favor too and sign it. Sign it.
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
on there,
yeah.
too.
It'll have my artist signature on it. So I have two
Nice.
different signatures now.
Yeah, not like the receipt, grocery store checkout signature, right?
No.
Not the credit
my
card
good-
signature, but
I have my artistic signature that looks nice.
Very nice, man. Thank you so much. Holy smokes.
Yes. I'm excited.
Wow.
Shae, did you talk about writing prose?
No. Oh my gosh, I forgot about writing prose because we've been on a hiatus for a while.
Yeah.
All right,
Writing prose is
before you get
another-
into that, one second. I'm going to put the link in here in
Yeah.
case, give everybody a head start, in case you guys want to join. One at a time if you've got a question or comment for Shae or Sai from Red Valkyrie.
And we occasionally do a pre-recorded show where we bring on a fixed panel. It used to be Eric Canetti and an author friend of ours, M.K. Gibson.
Yeah,
He's
okay, so
phenomenal.
yeah,
writer.
not Mel Gibson, Dr. Ben, not Mel Gibson. I was like, when did you guys have Mel Gibson? I'm like, I saw the other day you guys had Sam J. Jones.
Yes,
and then
we
I
did.
was like, when did you have Mel Gibson?
Unfortunately, not
Look, he was looking for gigs. It was right after the anti-Semitic
okay.
thing. So.
You helped him when he was down. I
We
guess.
did.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just talk about basically how to write from different perspectives. From
Nice.
the comic perspective, the novelist perspective. Shae and I also do editing for hire. Hint, hint. So
And I
yeah,
do poetry.
and Shae writes poetry, and I write the most violent, raunchiest fan fiction you've ever read. And,
Definitely not PG-13. We're hitting our level
No.
of size rating.
No. Did you say R?
I was at least.
So far past.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I was accused of writing torture porn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I feel like that's a lot of people that probably take it a little farther, though. Like, I don't know.
You mean the label of that? Yeah, I find that too. Especially when I don't know. Maybe I'll say the story. I don't want to make it anything about me, but I'll say the story. It's too late. The Chair movie, which is the adaptation of the graphic novel.
Right.
It's really not that violent and gory. Like, yeah, there's some stuff, but people were saying it was the most violent thing they'd ever seen. It was worse than Hostel. It was this, it was that. I was like, did we watch the same movie?
I feel like what it is when you are good at storytelling, you're really good at tapping
Army of
into
Darkness
things.
is more gory than The Chair.
Right. Well, I think it's just if anything, Pete, I think it's just a testament to you being a really good writer because it's people.
Oh, like they're
who-
imagining it, maybe.
People who get carried away with what you're saying, and it turns into this big thing in their head, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, it's incredibly violent." When it's like, I mean, it's not.
Yeah, like the first Texas Chainsaw.
Right. Like, I've
know?
gone back and watched so many of these horror shows. People are like, oh, it's so gory. And then I watch it and I'm like, not really. Like, I've seen way worse. And like any of the Saw movies have most of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like,
Or yeah, I mean, heck, most action movies have
right.
a ton
Right,
of
but
gore and
it's
blood and kills and yeah.
it's just what you tap into people's heads, and then they blow it out of proportion. That's why, like, the horror stories that are the best kinds are the kinds where you never actually get to see the killer. Like, you don't get to see the big bad. It's just constantly hinted at, and then your brain fills in the rest, and you make it way worse than anything that's actually there.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
like
Ollie.
the negative space of filmmaking. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys want to join, if you want to hop on board and say hello, please don't be shy. There's the link right there. If you missed
We
it,
don't bite
I'm
that
gonna put it in. Now that we've had such a lovely discussion.
Kira mentions RoboCop. I saw that in the
yeah.
theater when they released it,
Yeah.
and then before they yanked it back because the MPAA made a mistake in that scene where Ed 209 unloads on that junior executive. The MPAA made a mistake and let that through uncut. Then they yanked the movie back because they said that they were going to give it an X rating. Because of how gory that scene was, and so they had to re-chop it and get it back to the theaters to get it the R rating. But yeah, I saw that when I was a kid.
That's
in the
crazy.
theater. It was too gory for my nurse mom, but I just sat there and watched it. So.
You know, there's someone out there that would definitely beg to differ.
You now have 15 seconds to comply.
Oh, it looks serious.
Yeah, at the theater, that it kept shooting to an extreme amount, and chunky salsa.
Side note, I was 5 years old. I loved RoboCop, and I dressed as RoboCop for my kindergarten Halloween parade when we
Did you?
walked around the school in the Ben Cooper
Yes.
outfit. The thing that like cuts up
Nice.
your face, you're sweating, you're drenched, you know? And you're
That's
just in like
amazing.
this plastic smock with that horrible plastic mask. But it was great. Good times.
It was fantastic.
I completely
so-
just aged myself since you were 5.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Well, I'm, like I said, 40 next year, so I already aged
29.
myself. There you go.
Sai has been 29 for a while.
Yes, a while.
Haven't we all?
No, I'm very happily 37.
Shay's gonna stop at 39.
Pain in the ass.
Let's see. Silvar says, which is why RoboCop was perfect for toys and Saturday cartoons. Yeah, it's great. It's fine. Let your kids see RoboCop.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think that it's as bad as people say. I was gonna say something that I don't promote well at all, which is hilarious because I'm getting a degree in marketing, but I've intentionally not promoted this super well. I've done a spin-off YouTube channel as well that is specifically for my cosplay builds and my art. And right now it only has 4 shorts on it. I have been way too busy and haven't been able to edit down the other like 5 videos that I have that I need to edit and put up there. But it's called By Gaslight, and so it's basically where I'm doing my art, my cosplay, and I might simulcast when we do gaming streams to that as well.
That's right. Can you put that in the private chat, and then I'll
Sure.
put it out there for them, and then this way they can go sub to it. If you guys haven't subbed yet to the Red Valkyrie channel, the link is in the description of the show. So as soon as the show ends, go and do that.
Please sub. We would love to have more subs. We definitely we kind of have hit a lull, and I think that it's because we're always so busy on our own channel. We don't get out, just like you were saying. Like you never leave your own home space. You're just stuck there.
And it's important. I mean, I find that there's a lot of even alternate creators where they're like, I don't know where to go. And then first of all, I'm like, so you guys never watch when I'm out there on all these other channels, huh? Do you?
Thanks for the support, guys.
But then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this because I find that I get this conversation happening a lot, not just with the alternate guys, but with a bunch of people out there that are always confused as to, well, where do I go? Where do I go? I'm like, you know what? There's a bunch of channels that I've been on that I really enjoyed being on. Let me see if they'll come on to talk about their experiences, about their channel as well. And then I can have a whole playlist where I dedicate it just to them. And then I can go, here you go. Watch that playlist, talk to these people, learn and enjoy, and get out there. Because people do. They need to go and do that. And I'm aware sometimes it's intimidating, especially when you're starting off for the first time. But there's so many people out there that, as long as, like you said, with some of the great advice that you had, as long as you're following some of that advice, as long as you're learning, as long as you're prepping things in a good way, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to have you on and help you out and say, hey, okay, yeah, come on, talk about your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say I understand some of the, I guess, hesitation with coming on Red Valkyrie is people, we're open about the fact that we don't let everybody on. And so I know that there's a lot of people that have imposter syndrome and doubt themselves. Like I said before, just keep in mind, if I ever tell you that it isn't for us, if you ask for specifics, I will have that conversation with you. Like I don't offer it initially because I found a lot of people, the second they get any rejection, lash out, and I just don't have time for that. But if you are genuinely curious as to what it is about your campaign that maybe turned us away from it, I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. And, it could be something like maybe budget was such a huge issue that you couldn't hire an artist that was doing your story justice, and that art is not something that we feel is kind of up to snuff, especially for the price tag. And that's going to come down to increasing your budget and finding ways to do that. Or having your artist who maybe is leveling up and you're going to stick with them while they do that, and you can still get that kind of cheaper rate. But that's usually what it comes down to. It's usually something along those lines.
Yeah, and the thing is that you don't want to come across too like you're just a shill, that any single thing that comes your way, you're like, yeah, this is the best thing in the world, go support it,
Yep.
Because people in the chat are eventually going to go, that's really weird. Why do you keep having these subpar projects on here and telling us to throw our money at it or whatever? And meanwhile, I mean, come on, like, don't you realize this isn't ready yet? It doesn't mean that you wouldn't be. It doesn't mean that the next one won't be better. It doesn't mean that you're not able to improve the one that you currently have. But and that's something that I've noticed too. Dr. Mask had mentioned it before about people lashing out from rejection and things like that. There's no reason to ever lash out from rejection. The no is always really a yes, and it's pointing you down the right path, but you have to take it the right way. Yeah. So you can always turn that no into a yes if you're open to actually receiving some of that feedback so you can learn and grow. Doesn't mean you have to listen to every single thing that someone throws your way, though.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and I think the important part is to understand the only time it's really a failure is if you've refused to learn anything from it. And so if you've, gone to somebody and said, I'd really want to be in your channel, and they're like, yeah, we're not interested. And you press and they're like, yeah, we just think that it sucks. Like you get a creator, somebody who's like, we just think that it's garbage and we don't want it on our channel. If you're proud of what you did, then that just told you something about that channel. And you're like, oh, okay, well, this channel is not for this thing that I'm proud of.
Totally.
But if I make something else, maybe that channel will be for it. And we've had people that, especially when you're a writer and you're hiring artists, you hire multiple artists for different projects. Some artists are more skilled than others and put out more consistent product, and some are just learning, and it's totally fine to give them jobs, but understand that if their quality isn't quite there, that might be a barrier for some people and some shows, and it's probably going to struggle a little bit more than if you have a really, really good artist that you're paying a good amount for, and so it's always a trade-off, but it's up to you to decide if you're happy with what you're doing, and if the point of what you're doing is to make a shit ton of money, then you're going to want to go with the better artist. If the point is to create a brand or a relationship or something like a professional relationship with an artist, then going with a lower quality art, if it means that you can build something in the long run, then that's fine, but you have to understand what your goals are. You have to understand what you're setting out for in the beginning, and understand that other people
Yeah.
are going to have different goals than you. And
You
so
gotta
our goal on
still
Red
have that
Valkyrie-
honest objectivity about your own stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
And our goal on Red Valkyrie is to bring stuff that we would support. And we've had stuff on that maybe we don't like the art style so much, but we love the story. Like, the concept is just, holy crap, this is grabbing me. I do wish the art was a little bit stronger, but I really, really like where you're going with this, and I think it has potential. And, you know, so it's not, there's always room. You have to be willing to grow.
Things take time too. And the other part of it, and that's why I said before about how I like to see people having their own channel, is that it shows that you believe in yourself and what you're doing enough that you don't just want to talk about it on my channel or someone else's channel or whatever, but you're willing to have your own channel and talk about it on your own channel too. So I like seeing that from people. I love seeing self-starter, self-motivated people, you know, not people that are just sitting there like Oliver Twist and they go, please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, or people waiting
You know?
to have it done for them.
Yeah, I like seeing people, and it makes me want to go, okay, look, I see this person and then they're going for it, you know, so it tells me something about you. And then maybe what you're talking about, whether it's your story or your thoughts on something or whatever it may be, depending what that is. And this has happened with a few people where I go, I'd love to talk to them about that, you know, and then I'll reach out. And because a lot of people go, well, how do I get invites from shows? Well, you have to let yourself be known. You know, it doesn't mean you have to be controversial. It doesn't mean you have to dive into drama. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you got to let people know what you're about in terms of if you're a storyteller. Why are you a storyteller? Why is it important to you? What are you telling? Like, what's the story that you're telling? All these different kinds of things. You got to give people something to know about what you're doing for them to even consider reaching out to you. Otherwise, it's not just going to be like, well, I exist. Why don't they want to have me on their show? Like, you need to kind of step up the criteria.
And that's the thing is, like, if you look at our schedule, we're booked out 2 to 3 months. I'm not looking
There's a lot of people.
At a lot of people because I'm like, hey, if your campaign is already live, I'm not going to be getting you while your campaign is still live. Like, I'm already booked out for your campaign. So unless you're going in demand, I'm not getting you for a live campaign. That's the crux of it. If you are pushing something that looks really interesting and it's not launching for a couple of months, then I'll probably reach out. But we say all the time that you guys need to realize how far out, like, we're not like other channels. I'm not going to just shoehorn you into a stream. I'm not going to bring you on with a bunch of other people. Our streams take a lot of prep and they take a lot of
It's not like what I'm running over here, this makeshift shanty stream.
Well, and there's a lot of investment that goes into what we do. Like,
Slap on a hat and sunglasses, call it a day.
It's fantastic. You know what, Pete? The next time we're on your channel, I'm gonna have to cosplay you. It's gonna happen.
You have to, or the next time I'm on yours, even. You know.
Well, so if you come on ours, I'm gonna have to do like a halfway through the show cosplay. Costume change.
You could be King Cryptid again if you want, but that would be the next time I come on your show.
She doesn't repeat
pretty much
cosplays.
about that.
But
that's
the other thing.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have to be me.
Yeah.
It 374 shows, by the way, Shae.
You had to
374.
be me.
That's a lot of cosplays. I've done.
Yeah. That is a lot. Holy smokes.
You know what, Pete? Have 6 a.m. do a chibi of you, like how you are when you stream. Have him make a chibi of you, make that a sticker, and then I can cosplay it because it's on your campaign.
There you go. God, that was the most convoluted.
See, I'm working around this.
Is this too tough? Is this too much here? This is too convoluted, right? With the flannel, and then there's like a hat.
Campaign. You gotta put it on your campaign, and then I can say I cosplayed Pete from his campaign.
All right. King Cryptid's got a lot of characters too, so maybe you could pick and choose one of those.
Oh, but I'll find another one.
Man, there's so many that I can't even imagine where you would start in terms of how you would get that. The King Cryptid one was crazy enough, but the other characters that are in there, I don't know how the hell you would.
I've cosplayed a planet.
Okay. All right.
Or a
All right.
show.
You're giving me an idea then of the standard to live up to. I'm skipping on so many bad jokes I have in my mind too, but I'm gonna go past that.
Backstage, we're gonna have to hear all of them.
No anthropomorphic private parts, please.
Oh my gosh, no.
We do have a monetized channel.
It'd be amazing if she was Brugge, big giant swamp monster. I don't even know how that would happen. Yeah, I
love
know
a good
there's
challenge.
rules. I know. Okay, hey, looks like we got a guest joining us.
Yay!
All right, we got a few more minutes. Let's get them on board here for a question or comment for Shae or Sai. Hey, what's up, WD Smith?
Well, I hope my mic is working now.
Oh, everything's working great, and there's no echo
All right.
tonight. Beautiful.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that was bugging the crap out of me last time.
So how's it going? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I've been working on another page for my project. It's Renfield Book 2, The Vampire Squad.
Oh, awesome. What's your question or comment for Shae or Sai or both?
Well, mentioned earlier about making stuff look good. I've seen a lot of what Bancroft is doing, and that's just really amazing. So
You mean in terms of his YouTube channel or his comic?
well, the detail work that he puts into his pages.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that's a big encouragement for me to do a lot better with my stuff.
Good.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the best things that a lot of artists can do is look to the artists that make your jaw drop and see what it is about that art that really kind of speaks
Yeah.
to you, and see what you can bring to your
Yeah.
own artwork. Because honestly, Bancroft has, every time he shows pages, it just solidifies, like, clearly I'm going to be backing Lucent too.
That Eiffel Tower drawing is amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
he's-
sure
he's
he
really
just took a drone and took a picture of it. You know, that
We
Michael
lovingly call
Bancroft.
him Blousecroft.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's crazy. I saw that and I'm like, there's no way you didn't draw that. No, I'm gonna have to see you draw that to believe you drew that.
His
Right?
wife is really drawing everything.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
His wife's
surprised at all.
amazing.
Yeah. See, I got started kind of late doing the comics part of it. I got my first book, Malcolm, Renfield Book 1, Malcolm, out last year on Amazon. But I'm going to have to do something else beside Amazon because I'm just not making any money with them. Mm-hmm. And,
Amazon's a hard sell.
but I've been an artist for probably 40 years. My first illustration job was in 1985. My sister was working for a dentist in Franklin, Indiana. And
Man, oh man.
he was working on a new book or a new chapter for a dental textbook. And he asked her, said, "Do you know any artists?" She said, "Yeah, my brother." So he said, "Well, draw me some teeth." All right, so I drew up some teeth, and he liked what I did, so he hired me to do that chapter. So I made about $1,600 on that job. So I moved to Tennessee, which I don't know if I should have done that or not. But the only good thing about it is I met my wife down here. But
Nice.
as soon as
That's
we got
great.
married,
That's great.
we should have
Yeah.
hightailed it back to Indiana.
WD. Do you have a question or a comment for Shae or Sai before we let you go tonight?
Well, now I just wanted to say hi and see if my mic was working.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that it's working.
All right, great. Thank you.
Well, thanks for stopping by there, WD.
All right.
And you have a wonderful evening, my friend. I'm glad your mic is working and everything is going okay tonight.
All right, great. Thank
All
you.
right. Have a great evening.
Night.
All right. So we have come across the hour mark. We're going to be wrapping up. Did we miss anything? Would you guys like to talk about anything else before we wrap it up?
I don't know. Sai, do you have anything? Besides weird grunts?
I'm thinking. I'm on the spot now. Make Shae go first.
Make Shae go first. I think the biggest thing for us is just this is something that we absolutely love to do. We love giving advice and trying to help new creators any way that we can. And if you're interested in coming on our auctions, our live stream like Regen or being on Red Valkyrie Presents, please just DM me, hit me up. And if I don't respond, because I do get distracted, if I don't respond to you, don't feel bad double or triple tapping me. There's times where I've forgotten. Stop it. There's plenty of times where I forget that I haven't responded to a DM. And so if you hit me up again and I see that you've hit me up more than once and I haven't responded, give me a few days. But I will feel really bad and make it a point.
Yeah. You can also poke me.
You can
Shae does handle the schedule, but I mean, I look at DMs, not, every second of the day. But if you poke me to ask me why Shae hasn't gotten back, you'll get a response, because then I'll poke Shae.
And there you go.
And Shae's very annoying. So.
All right, so before we wrap it up, let's leave it on a note here for advice for the aspiring creators out there that are looking to get on the Red Valkyrie channel. You've had a lot of great advice tonight. When they do come on your channel, they did everything in terms of getting in touch with you. Their project looks great to you and everything else. Now they're on the channel. The mic is great. The headset is there. Everything. Now that they're on, what is some of the best advice that you think you could give them in terms of them speaking to the audience that you have and communicating to them about why they should back their book?
Be excited.
Yeah, you have to love what you made. Love what you made and communicate that to the audience. You can talk about the fact that, you did this new amazing way of laying out your comic, or, use the most expensive ink on the planet when you ink this, physically, or all this other stuff. Excuse me, Pete. And that's all well and good, but if you don't love what you did, the audience is going to notice. So bring that and make other people love what you did.
Yeah, I mean, and that comes through in your personality. Like, don't be so afraid to be yourself. Like, there's very few things that we're not okay with on our channel. Just basically the stuff that's going to get us banned off of YouTube. So bring your personality. If your personality is swearing like a sailor, hey, how you doing? I'm right there with you. I'm terrible. Go ahead.
Don't do it in the first couple minutes.
First couple minutes I'm talking anyway. But be yourself and bring all that energy, because our chat is there because they're already partially interested in what you have. Bring all of that excitement, bring all of that energy with you, and our chat will get excited. We have one of the best chats out there on YouTube. Our guys are very, very heavy supportive backers. They back so many projects, and they're there for so many different things. So they're already primed for you. You just got to be yourself and show them that what you have is good. And I've watched them move money around, and I'll eat ramen for a week to help support some of these creators. So don't be afraid to just bring all of that crazy passion with you. You have an hour to fill. Use it.
Absolutely. Yeah, great advice. All right, thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight and sharing. No problem at all. Thank you guys for sharing all the different things you do on your show, and also for letting a lot of the creators out there know some solid advice, because I'm seeing it more and more. There's a lot of creators that are getting out there. They're doing these things for the first time. They're entering into the YouTube realm, and no one's a pro at this right away, if ever, really. And they're looking for advice. They're looking for tips. They're looking for, where to go. And thank you guys for giving them some solid advice.
Absolutely.
So everybody in the chat, thank you guys for joining us tonight too. It's always a blast with you guys here. Hosting the Host, episode 4 with Shae and Shae of Red Valkyrie. If you guys have not subbed to their channel yet, make sure to go and do that immediately following the end of this show. The link to their channel is in the description of this show. I'm your host, Peter Simeti. This has been Comic Book Radio. Thank you guys so much. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time. Very, very soon. Very, very soon. I don't know when, but soon. See you guys in a few days. All the best.